So earlier when you said he came to play, I thought you said he came to play.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Popcorn Watchlist podcast, where we discuss and celebrate our favorites in TV and film. I am your host, Xavier, and join with me are my special friends. You've got Danny, our info man.
What's up?
Anthony.
Hello.
And Zach.
What's up, guys?
And today, thank you for joining us, because we're going to talk about a special movie that we just recently watched, a directorial debut by Michael B. Jordan. Let's get right down to talking to everybody about Creed 3.
Well, before we get into it, we were supposed to talk about Zach's recommended movie, but we're actually going to skip it on over for next week, just because we haven't gotten a chance to watch it all together.
Okay. Yeah, and by us, we mean Danny. He's the only one who hasn't seen it.
My bad. But we're going to all watch it together, so they won't let me watch it alone.
No.
So
we have to watch it as a group together. We have to do it for the greater good.
The greater good.
And just in case if you were wondering which movie it is Hot Fuzz.
Yeah.
So we'll get to that next week, but we'll move on to Creed 3 for now.
Yeah. I went into this movie with high hopes and high expectations, and boy, were they met. I'm just going to say that right now, because Michael B. Jordan really put a lot of his influences on the screen in an amazing way. It wasn't corny. It wasn't, on the nose. It wasn't also haphazardly thrown together. He was playing with a lot of, high-end toys, so to speak, and he made something really fun and really special. I think it really cemented a story that stands on its own as being a story about Adonis Creed, and less this whole there's always this legacy, because it stems from the Rocky films, but I feel like this is a movie that it can stand on its own and tell a story that's unique to this character. And like I said, he's playing with the fancy toys, the really expensive ones you'd find in the Toys R Us aisles, with people having Jonathan Majors be like his rival in the film and former best friend, Tessa Thompson, obviously, and it's honestly, man, it's up there with the first one. And by no means is out of the three Creed movies, no means too bad, but I feel like this one is almost as good as the first one, and that one was directed by Ryan Coogler. So he started off his first film with subject matter he knows, characters he knows, and actors that are amazing and are able to take these characters and bring them up to the next level. That's it's awesome. And you guys know I'm a massive fan of Jonathan Majors, and this dude came to play in every sense, from the physicality standpoint of Damien to the pathos that the character has, the many different layers. He's not just this just cookie cutter Clubber Lang style villain. This man is hungry. He wants what's owed to him. He feels that maybe it's rightfully or justfully so that he has this chip on his shoulder. And a part of me was watching the movie. I'm just damn, the dude's so charismatic and the character's so interesting. I was I kind of do want to see him succeed, even though he goes about it in ways that aren't necessarily on the up and up. And it just leads to amazing drama between Adonis and Damien. We get an awesome movie out of it.
I mean, with Jonathan Majors' character, I feel like you go through the roller coaster of okay, yeah, I want to go root for him. And then you're oh, okay, no, never mind. And then, oh, okay, yeah. And then you just keep going back and forth. And I think he did a great job playing this character and showing the different sides of the character as well.
Yeah, he's layered. It's a well written character that again, it's testament to Jonathan Majors to be able to bring those layers out, and
he's ripped.
Yeah, I mean the dude's jacked, like he's massive, and like I don't know if this is an aside, but like all the hits, like when he like vocalized the hits that you kind of learn from like in martial arts and everything, it's the same vocalizations he uses in Ant-Man in Quantumania, and so like all the hits are stronger. It's like, dude, like someone's getting like their rib cage broken.
I mean, they probably filmed around the same time, maybe Ant-Man first, but he was still training.
He filmed like 4 movies at once that needed him to have like a body like that.
Yeah.
Quantumania, Magazine Dreams, this one, and like let's just say
I think there's another one
Devotion.
coming out.
Maybe do
it. Probably no, not Devotion. It's something else.
I think there's another one coming out that he's filming now.
That he still
that
needs
he's
to be.
required
And more
to
Kang.
have. Yeah.
Yeah, and more Kang. Is it 48? Oh wait, he's gonna be Dennis Rodman in 48 Hours in Vegas. So
go.
that's hilarious. The Man in My Bracelet. Interesting. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. I went on the side to start looking at upcoming IMDb stuff, but yeah, like.
And this movie
it's
was
too
shot in
good.
IMAX.
Yeah.
Which is isn't it like the first sports movie to be shot in IMAX?
I think so. I don't know.
Possibly.
I think that's what they mentioned.
The Little Giants remake would like the different. No, I'm kidding. That'd be amazing. The annexation of Puerto Rico in IMAX.
The first sports movie to be shot on IMAX cameras.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Because boxing is a sport.
And it is the highest grossing sports movie.
It is.
Is it?
Yeah.
What?
Mm-hmm.
No way.
Yes, way.
Of like all time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Highest grossing Rocky franchise movie and highest grossing sports movie.
Already the highest grossing Rocky franchise?
No, already the highest grossing sports movie. That's nuts.
What was behind that? Probably
Uh-huh.
another Rocky movie.
I don't know. Remember the Titans? I don't know.
That's nuts.
Well, it's like. Well, hold on.
Well, and funny enough, we didn't even watch it in IMAX. I'm sure if we would have.
Nah, Dolby.
Did we know that beforehand? I don't think we knew that beforehand.
It was there. Like, I knew there was an IMAX version, but I just didn't know if it was truly shot in IMAX. So I was like, Dolby's.
Yeah.
I'm sure Dolby is good enough.
Yeah, and we didn't watch it in IMAX. We watched it in Dolby instead. But to be already the highest grossing sports... I mean, there probably haven't been a lot of sports movies in the last...
Well, sports movies probably
couple
don't
decades,
make that
but-
much money either. They're not Marvel movies that make
True.
hundreds of millions of dollars.
But I think because of the legacy behind the Creed films with Rocky, I guess it makes sense. For people to be fans of Rocky and then getting them to go back to the theater to see another installment in that franchise, I think.
Dude,
helped
even
a lot.
more than Space Jam?
Yeah.
So
Like the first Space Jam?
I don't even know if Space Jam made that much money.
I'm
So-
looking at this Space Jam. What?
based on this article, Creed 3 claims title as biggest sports movie opening of all time.
What article is this?
Opening, okay.
With
Oh,
100,
opening.
100 million box
Opening.
office total.
Yeah, that's opening. Cause I'm reading through some other stuff, and they're like
The movie's still
The
out.
thing
They're
is, it's still
adjusting
making
for-
money.
they're
Yeah.
adjusting for inflation. So like adjusted for inflation,
Which
Space
is still
Jam
pretty
made
good, I mean.
518 million. Rocky 4 made 775 million.
Yeah, but you can't do that.
Adjusting for inflation.
Yeah.
All right.
But
Okay.
for opening, that's not bad at all.
What do you mean not bad? That's incredible. Like that's great for him, man. Like I'm
And to
happy
be your
for,
first movie
Yeah.
directing, that's awesome.
I'm happy for everybody involved in this movie. Like that's it's well deserved. So like if we're talking about like immediately, initial impressions, it's just like dude, like this movie's awesome. Like,
And what's crazy is like, the elephant in the room. Rocky's not in it.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
I think it's kind of weird, but I'm cool with it. I made my peace
Like
with it.
it was still great even without Rocky, but you do feel like you do miss him there. Like you're like,
There were a few moments where it seemed like he probably should have been there for
Yeah.
like 2 scenes, even if it was just like a cameo. It's like it's kind of weird.
Maybe like towards the end or something like.
Did they even mention Rocky? I feel like they mentioned maybe
They
once.
said his name once.
Yeah.
and that was
They
it.
said his name once, but
I don't even remember them mentioning his name, to be
Yeah.
honest.
yeah,
They did. It was like towards
weird.
early-ish middle of the movie, I think. Yeah. But With that, like that's why I was like, I don't know, I'll be the odd man out thinking like I'm cool with that because like it helps Donnie's story stand out more and be more unique into his own because he's dealing with stuff from his past that maybe it's something that Rocky couldn't necessarily relate to. I know like he used to try to be like a strong man for like some local hustlers in Philly. Talking about Rocky, by the way, but then then he got his fight chance to get that going. But it was pretty awesome. Again, I don't want to take up all the airtime as the host, but I thought the movie was amazing. What did you guys think initially?
Well, Zach got to see all the Rockies and all the Creeds within a span of like 48 hours before watching this movie.
50 hours.
I think it was 24 hours.
I feel like it was such a blur. Like he went through a 12-round boxing match, and he's still concussed and can't remember anything.
Yeah, I ended up watching. So we watched Creed 3 on a Thursday. I watched the first Rocky on the Tuesday night before. I watched Rockies 3 through
6.
I think. No, well, I don't think I watched Rocky Balboa the same day. I think I ended up watching it.
Oh, but you did watch it.
Yeah.
I know. I did end up watching it. I watched Rocky 2 through 4, I think. Or maybe I did watch Balboa, I don't remember. Wednesday. And then I think I watched Creed 1 and 2 and maybe Rocky Balboa before those, Thursday, the day of the movie.
Damn.
Nice.
So
What a day. What a 2 days.
You're all boxed up.
Yeah, I was lucky that I had that Wednesday and Thursday off that I was able to then watch all these movies or between Netflix and Amazon, I think were the two streaming services I had them on. Oh, and I think HBO.
Well, HBO had the Creeds and Netflix and Amazon had the
Rockies.
The Rockies, yeah. Between those three streaming services, I was able to watch all of them, which was pretty crazy. So I was able to then now see the how the story has progressed from Rocky 1 to 6, and then now with the inclusion of Creed, which has been quite a journey, I will say. But this movie was really great.
I still want him to watch the director's cut of Rocky 4 just to see. I think I think he would objectively like that as a better movie. Because I remember you telling me, I'm like, what'd you think about the robot in Rocky 4? And he's just like,
it was weird.
Dude, why is there a robot here? I'm like, because he's rich. You can buy a robot for Paulie. And Paulie got all weird, and then he wasted all the money.
Yeah, 5. I'll definitely try to watch that sometime soon. So while these movies are still fresh, and just to kind of see how that compares.
If you watch all 6 Rockies and the 2 Creed movies. Mm-hmm. That is 14 hours and 55 minutes.
Dude, that's nothing.
Of boxing drama.
That's not even Harry Potter. Like all of Harry Potter. Same amount of movies, nowhere close.
Harry Potter's like 20 hours.
Harry Potter is 19 hours and 39 minutes.
Yeah. Like, bruh.
I can still watch Harry Potter in a day. I can watch all the Rockies in a day.
Okay, so you did that's 14 hours and 55 minutes, and then add 2.5 more for Creed 3. So.
And that doesn't include pausing for a couple minutes to use a bathroom.
So you're at 17 hours.
No.
It's
no
still
pauses. There's no pauses.
You're at 17 hours. Which...
I can't even blink.
No.
No. Just keep your eyelids open.
Just have a bottle of
another movie you haven't seen.
Just put them in every minute.
No, I think midway you text us. You're like, "Come my eye."
Yeah.
I gotta get in the next round.
Give me Mick.
I know what I'm doing.
Funny enough, because speaking of Coming Mick, I wanted to talk about this off air, but I guess since we're bringing it up now, I might as well talk about it. So, I'm a big fan of a band called Yellow Card, and they have a song called "Cut Me Mick," which is a direct reference to the movies. However, the lyrics have nothing to do with Rocky at all. Funny enough.
I actually did not know that. Thank you.
That's pretty cool.
Do you know that song, X?
No, I don't. That's actually... let this be on record. Zach has one up me on something.
I know one Yellow Card song, so...
I know one more song than X does.
I know only 2 Yellow Cards.
I think the song is off of their Paper Walls album, so if you know Yellow Card and you want to just look at the title, there it is, Cut Me Mick.
Wow, they're Rocky fans. That's just like...
Because I heard the line in the movie, I'm like, yo, Cut Me Mick. This sounds like...
I've heard this before.
I've heard this before. This is a Yellow Card song. So I look it up and I'm like, oh, so it turns out Yellow Card chose it because they liked the movie. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Even though
Let me
lyrics
read the
have
lyrics.
nothing to do with it.
Nothing.
Yeah, so
It's
I
not like-
actually went through the lyrics afterwards because I'm like, okay, maybe the song has a message
From the movie.
like from the movie, or like something about the movie. I read through all the lyrics and nothing.
It's not like Eye of the Tiger where like the lyrics are like what he's going through in the movie.
Exactly.
it's not like that at all.
Nothing at all. Okay.
Well, going back to Creed.
Yeah, let's get back into this awesome movie.
What did you guys think of the daughter?
I loved it. I love the fact that she's just all speaking in ASL. And the only thing is I wasn't sure whether or not she was born deaf or they're just having her learn to use ASL.
No, I think
I'm
it's
sure
just
she was born
born
deaf,
deaf
because
because
that's
in
how
the
it was in
second movie,
you know.
Yeah, okay.
they do like the
the
hearing
audio-
test.
That's
they do an audio
right.
test.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's a cool like progression from the first movie.
Yep.
You know, building up to.
And that's why in the house, in the house they have glass floors for the upstairs portion.
Yeah, so they can kind of
they
see
can
her.
see her,
And then she could,
communicate.
communicate, see her. Like, that's too cool. And it's nice to see from the, like, the daughter kind of going through her own thing of just like, oh, you know, dad's tough, I want to be tough like dad, and, you know, these kids are making fun of me. Then he puts the whooping on this chick. So, you know, like, as you know, everybody has their rough childhoods and whatnot, but, like, initially I was just like, you know what, good for you. Great, but like in the mind is kind of like, oh, like in the back of your mind, they're like, oh, like hopefully there's a way to channel that. Like she finds a proper way to channel it, and yeah, he's starting to teach her boxing, which is cool. And
Yeah, I liked how she would like hide and look at his old videos like on the iPad, just like seeing how he would fight.
that was really cool. And like he was teaching her, do it this way, like, oh, like in this other fight, that was really cool. She signed it, like in this fight, he's like, yes.
He's like, oh, you seen that one?
You
She's
seen
like,
that
yeah,
one?
I've seen all of them.
Seen all of them. He's you see him as a dad, like
nice. That's what's
amazing.
up. That's what's up.
It was amazing. And what's cool is through the introduction of bringing Damien into his house, you see more of this progression of Adonis. Like, hey, he's now retired, so he's kind of living the good life. So it's a little bit like, kind of like Rocky IV in a sense, but like where he's kind of settled in. He now has his like champions gym, and they're training this other dude to fight for the championship, and. Damien comes in, you know, gets out of jail or gets out of prison and proceeds to stir up a storm, man, with the past.
With what's his name? Felix, the guy that was the boxer's name, right?
Yeah,
Felix.
with Felix.
Then we got Victor Drago also show up in here, and he's like best friends with.
Yeah.
That's actually really cool.
I liked it. I
Because
thought it
they
was
both
cool.
bonded after what they went through, and they're like, oh, like, you know, Rocky's like was a surrogate dad for Donnie, and then you have Victor, you know, his real dad being, you know, with Ivan Drago having to go through that stuff, and he's like, damn, like we shouldn't be having to fight our, you know, father's battles. Like, let's be our own people, and that was growth, and you got to see growth from all of that, and like again, like there's awesome arcs from almost everybody, and I really liked seeing that play out and not just being told, but like acted out and like going through. And then you also get to see that, like, oh, I'm gonna bring in Donnie, help him out, you know, just let him be like a sparring partner, and you can tell the man is hungry.
The training montage, and he was part of the training montage too. Like,
Yeah.
helping him fight, so or get back
Yeah,
into
that was cool.
shape to fight.
We talking about the training montages that each of them had when. Oh yeah, you're talking about Victor Drago and Felix coming in to help out Donnie in his training montage, right?
Yeah, at the end.
And it was cool because then you have Damien, who now is like flipped in this fight with Donnie. Like you have this whole idea of like he was the one, like he was kind of just like the punching bag. Now he's out there like beating up all his sparring partners. Just like there's nothing, man. Like nothing stopping me here. Like when you know. I guess what's really cool too is, you know, like him coming through, like you see a bit of like the rugged fight style, the the pre-dirty fight style that he was bringing into that, you know, just glancing elbow hits.
He used some kicks in boxing.
He used his knee to buckle his other knee and like That was some like
I was like,
shady.
You can't do that.
damn.
I've seen that's like dirty basketball play from like the early '90s that the
Mm.
Detroit Pistons would do. Like,
That's
they
like-
just were rough. He was like, hey, this is obviously you're fighting, but like he got in some rough shots in there too.
It's like sweep the leg and
It's like,
Karate
okay,
Kid,
did you?
Karate
He's like,
Kid.
yeah, I got a problem with that. I mean, Donnie obviously did it, but like, it's not Donnie. Dame didn't. Like,
I'm glad, like,
good.
you know, at first I was like, damn, he's gonna be dirty the whole like movie, but at least like in the final fight he was.
oh no, because
It
he
was, like,
knew. He's like, I
legit,
don't
like,
care. I know
fight.
this kid's moves. Like, I
Yeah.
know everything. And like and so like this all culminates in the drama where Damien was using Donnie to get at this championship shot, and he called in his old prison buddies to do some to stir up some drama, put him
Yeah.
into the fight picture, and kind of like really like literally muscle his way through this stuff, and like leverage the friendship to play him. And then it turns out like, damn, like you were using me this whole time. And
Yeah.
then you realize that, hey, his Donnie's adopted mother kept all the mail he was supposed to have, because he's like, oh, I don't want you associating with him because he's bad news. And all that was still just like hey, it's not fair, like all that's going on. But to Donnie's testament as a character is really cool. He never once threw his mom under the bus. It was like, oh, I never got your letters because my mom hid them. Like he
Well,
Yeah.
he didn't know that she hid them.
yeah. Well, like even then, like
No, even after
he
did it.
knew that,
Yeah.
he never
Well,
he never
after
brought
the
that
fact, something else happens.
Well, yeah, you got to talk about that too. So you have, Marianne is like kind of still living on her own, but she's had some health problems, and so they really want to, bring her back in, make sure she's okay. Testament also to Felicia Rashad's acting. Like she's great, like and like just very kind of stoic. But then like in those scenes in the family where they're just drinking a little bit of wine and having fun with Donnie and his daughter. And Bianca's just just keep an eye on her. Like you can see like just the fun lightheartedness came in at the time, and just kind of like share the family moments. Those were again like just orchestrated and done really well. Like just great great testament to Michael B. Jordan's directing, and that's not even getting to like some of my favorite stuff of the movie.
Yeah, we got all those awesome anime references.
Dude, Anthony and I think I was like, I kept looking at it like, this is from here. This is like, you have during the fights, you have, I think, Damien doing a Dempsey roll from Hajime no Ippo. Like, I'm gonna start throwing out like anime names right now, but like he's doing Dempsey rolls, just like going in and weaving through and going for the shots. Like that was so cool, and like the way it was shot, it didn't look corny. It just looked legit. Like
Like it looked like you would see it in a
yeah,
actual,
like this is and
fight.
he's a big dude, so he's moving and weaving in. It's like, oh, this guy's coming in for like some heavy hits.
Then you got that one punch
Punch
that
in the
like
gut.
the undercut with like the sweat.
Yeah, the uppercut and the sweat.
That's
remember
like
after
that's the DBZ punch that if it was Dragon Ball Z, like the punch would be like going through their back.
almost half through their stomach.
Yeah.
Like,
And
oh,
even with the facial reaction,
Like-
his eyes get big.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
And then they do the slow mo and like show that same shot like 10 times before the next
Ten different
episode.
angles.
or the recap.
Yeah.
Next time on Creed.
The final 2 rounds. What was really cool too is how about the double Dragon Ball Z
the
double
final
punch?
double
Where they
punch.
both
Double
knock
punch.
each other
They
out
both punched
almost.
each other. Yeah,
that was cool.
Dude.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was one of those like
That's
he's
Goku
like
Vegeta punch.
yeah, he's like I gotta have this punch in here. Like I have to. Like you had to, and like that's going back to like you see like the way their rivalry stemmed and formulated and grew naturally in the movie. Felt like an anime arc where this person comes through, it's from your past. Oh, like we have the kindred, but I'm also now your rival because I'm coming after what I'm owed for, and I don't like. Yeah, we're friends and everything, but I don't want. I'm like I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get what's mine, and like it was again like those initial like being humble, Damien, like when they're eating food at the diner, to then him kind of getting into it and just going back to his place and just getting back to like what he was training in front of the mirror and everything. That was like those little bits just really add up to just a really awesome like and fleshed out sort of in essence antagonist for one of these movies. It's so good.
There was one shot that I really liked in the movie. I'm trying to look for it, but I can't find it at the moment. But it's when they're both like before the fight starts, and they're both in the.
It's before he fights Felix.
It's the Felix fight where
Where
they're
like,
in the locker
and
and then they
Adonis
both
goes
look
to
at
like
each
the other.
other.
No, but he like goes to the other side, but it's shot
Like with the
like
wall.
in the middle, where like the walls in the middle, and they both kind of
They're both
glance
looking at each
even though
other?
they're not looking at
That's
each
totally
other.
an anime moment.
That was a cool shot. I like that.
And the lighting was different for each character.
Yeah.
That was done so well. Like and like also like the rooftop scene where they're kind of talking and catching up. Like just the way shots were placed out. Like just had great shot establishment. It was. Damn, man! Like the more I think about it, I'm like, man, I really like this movie a lot.
And shout out to Felix Chavez's entrance in that fight. It was pretty badass with all the smoke
They have
and
some
everybody's
cool
wearing
visuals.
like the skeleton mask and all that. That was
Yeah, they
cool.
made it a show. Yeah, they truly made it a show. Diamond Dame. That was a pretty damn cool like ring name or like ring alias. Like, it was. Yeah, and that was the fight where you start seeing that, he's gonna really like, I'm gonna wear him down with some of like the cheap stuff and then bring it naturally. Like I saw that what was really cool, there was an anime that's about like high school basketball in Japan. And there's one team they play against, and one player is known for... That whole team is known for playing, like, rough and dirty. Mm-hmm. And they do the knee buckling and like the elbow crosses, that kind of stuff. I remember seeing that. I was like, damn, like, who's teaching you that? Like, I want to know, like, is the coach aware of that stuff? But, like, in this case, Damien's learning that stuff because, hey, he's in prison. He's got to, if he's going to learn to continue his skills of fighting, he's going to pick up some stuff along the way. And...
the cheap tricks.
Yeah, to see him like put them in place, and then afterwards it was like, all right, cool. He's gonna dial it back and then like play it clean because he's like, I'm already in his head, and then just he hits him with that knockout punch. Woo!
Yeah, because it's shown through flashbacks how he would go to these underground like boxing matches where people are like betting and stuff, and it's more like. Obviously, like it's unregulated. Like there are no rules, but they try to keep it as like close to the rules. I guess
there are rules because they had helmets on. Like
they
but it was like
those
unsanctioned fights. Like it was like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm gonna go here and like and do participate in the unsanctioned fights because he's gonna get his experience like that. And
I'm sure that they were also like the rules were kind of loose.
A little bit before he went to prison.
Yeah.
What was really
I'm
cool
sure in prison too. That's where he.
What was really cool too is that even with that, he still had the tactical mind. He's like, all right, check this out. You see that? He's like analyzing and breaking down his opponent. He's like, all right, I'm gonna hit him with this. It's gonna be checkmate, and just immediately called it. I thought immediately at first like, oh, are they fixing the fight? No, he's just that good. So that was nice to see.
Yeah, like how they showed how observant he is. Like every time a round would end, he would sit down and. He wasn't even paying attention to his coaches and what they were saying. He was just staring at his opponent and seeing, all right, you can see that this guy's weak, like on his side or his ribs hurt. So like immediately the next round starts and he was punching the crap out of this guy's ribs. So yeah, it was really cool.
Yep.
So it's like not only does he have, the hand-to-hand combat, but like he's just like very observant of where he's supposed to hit and the other person's weaknesses. So.
Which is in its own way kind of very anime-esque, how they were cutting into like just the tunnel vision that Damien would have. Like that's kind of like in a real anime you'd have like a voiceover, kind of like, oh, I'm gonna overanalyze this and this, but God, I'm glad I didn't do that.
If he swings this way, then I'm gonna duck under his,
and it'll be checkmate.
20, and that would be 20 minutes.
A 20-minute analysis. But let's talk about what I felt like was the most anime moment. Which was like the second to last round where it was where Donnie and Dame are fighting, but it's just empty.
But it wasn't even the second. It wasn't.
Round.
That's the one thing I didn't like about that fight. It was like the second round, and then by the time it ended, it was like the 10th round or something like that. And so
it was there for a while.
That's one sequence where everything faded away. Somehow ended up being like
10 rounds.
8 rounds or something like that. So I thought that was kind of weird, but I liked the overall.
It's a cool concept of it because it was like just showing like it doesn't matter like everyone else that's there. It's just them two battling it out.
I wonder if he came up with that first, or if it was more of a limitation because they obviously filmed this during COVID.
Could be.
So I think it was like so more of a we have a limitation, so we can't get thousands of people in a stadium. So let's use like green screen or whatever, and then make it seem like okay, it's like us two just fighting like the battle of the pasts or whatever.
Also,
Yeah.
it's cool. It was at the stadium,
Yeah,
the Dodger
Yeah, it's
Stadium.
the Dodger Stadium. And what was really cool too is that
Like,
they
it-
would flash back to their younger selves.
Yeah.
like
Again,
it,
and that's another very anime moment.
yeah, like it was clear. It was like they weren't in a stadium. It was like CGI.
No,
But
for
I
sure.
still liked that. Okay, well, knowing that it was kind of gonna look fake, that they put the whole like there's like smoke around. It was kind of just like the battle of the
Yeah.
minds, the wills.
And then it shows like I think there was one part where there was like the jail cell with the
Yeah, instead of like as the ring,
Mm-hmm.
instead of the ropes.
Yeah, like one side of it,
Mm-hmm.
and the camera kind of like goes
Yeah.
through it.
Through it, and then he had like he was stuck there. No, but I'm behind a cage.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, it should be behind this. And
Like a
all
lot of
the bars.
symbolism
Yeah.
and like
Yeah, it was like an overt symbolism. Again, it was very, something you'd find in an anime. It was really, really good. That's so cool.
Yeah, like if they had the audience there, then they would have intercut between like 50 people's faces, like doing reactions to
Yeah.
it. But
He's
or like the same reactions that you get on
Yeah.
like
or the
every movie
someone from the
before.
crowd or someone from the crowd analyzing like, oh, that's what he's doing, or they would cut to the actual ring announcers like over analyzing every move.
mm-hmm.
So it was a good way to like keep it fresh and different compared to the other like 9 movies.
Yeah.
So
And that was again a really nice way to for the dork in me that like, or the anime nerd in me that's really that really grew up watching a lot of these stuff to kind of see it, like I see that validation too, and like also a bit of like Michael B. Jordan's validation, like hey, this medium is cool, is a great way to inject that kind of storytelling into a movie for general audiences without them knowing. And it's great also to see like we're talking about like how it fits in the greater scheme of this whole Rocky Creed universe of storytelling. And like I mentioned before, we hone in on some parts of Donnie's past before. This was after he got adopted by Marianne, but he still like snuck out with Damien to kind of, to watch the fights, to get really excited about boxing. And but you can tell like Damien was getting kind of mixed up in a couple shady things because he packed a gun with him all the time. So I mean, maybe he was trying to protect himself, but at the same time, like, hey man, like that's they had there's a group home that they were in, and the reason why that we get to that whole backstory of why Damien went to prison and not Donnie, because of the fight that really Donnie instigated. So again, seeing that, and then he has to reconcile with that, and like, how do I deal with that? Comes out to just gotta fight through it. Again, it's a really cool way to put that in, give some extra layers and more story for Adonis Creed, and helping him stand out as his own character. It's really, really awesome.
So what do you guys give it a final rating?
Who's gonna go first?
Oh.
I say Zach go first because you did the marathon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Complete it.
You have everything fresh in your mind.
Finish it.
Do it.
I'm going to probably give. I'm kind of torn, but I'm gonna say.
Well, first out of the Creed movies, which one did you like? Like, where does this one stand in the Creed movies?
Like your rating of the Creed.
Number 2, as in the trilogy, as my
so
second
this
favorite.
is your second favorite, okay?
Yeah. I'm gonna give it, I think, a hard 8.5. 8.5. I think it's
8.5.
pretty.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Anthony?
I would give it an 8. I agree. I think it's the second best one. I was talking to Xavier earlier. Like, I barely remember Creed 2. That I kind of want to rewatch it just to see if maybe the first time I watched it wasn't paying attention that much. But I do remember it the second Creed not being as good as the first. So yeah, this one definitely felt a lot more like the first one, just without Rocky. So that's one of my criticisms, was that there was at times where it felt weird that he wasn't in it. I agree that he didn't need to be in it, but it seemed like like, okay, first of all, this storyline that I didn't like, which was when his mom passed away, I thought that was kind of a waste that they kind of just threw that in there. But you would think that he would probably be there, like, for the funeral.
Yeah.
And also maybe for the last
Because
fight.
he was there for Apollo's funeral, obviously.
Right.
And then to be there then for the wife of Apollo.
Yeah, it was just, it seemed odd. Like, it was odd that they even had that in the first place, that she passed away. Because I felt like they wasted the actress. Felicia Rashad is a good actress, and she's been good as his mom for these 3 movies. And it was just like, it was sort of sad for me, but I felt like they wanted it to be more sad, and I guess I wasn't completely sad that it happened. I was like, it felt kind of rushed that they just, like, stuck this in the middle of the movie.
She had a history of a stroke, and then
No, only in this movie,
Only in
because
this
they
movie.
told it to you in the beginning
Yeah.
of the movie.
Well, there is a time jump between 2 and 3.
Right, maybe like,
It's like 3 years
2
or
years,
something.
something
at
like
least
that.
3 years or so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought it was a little
Because-
bit more. I thought it was like 5 years.
But I did like how this movie kind of sort of emulates like Rocky 3, where it's like the fighter coming out of retirement to like come back and do like, I know, in
One more
quotes,
fight.
one more fight,
To
or
prove themselves.
Fast and Furious, one last ride for the 10th time, you know, because I'm
Okay.
sure there's gonna be more Creed movies, so there's gonna be one more fight 5 more times. But yeah, I like that. That's always a cool, like, I gotta see if I could do it again. So that's why I also, like, you would think Rocky would at least be there maybe to help him train for the fight. Even if he wasn't there the rest of the movie, he'd be like, hey, if you remember what you gotta do. I felt that because I feel like in all the Rocky movies and the Creed movies that there was always those Stallone, Rocky's wisdoms, the little snippets.
Those one-liners.
The snippets of wisdoms, they're like, oh man, this movie's great. And I just felt like this movie was missing that one
Yeah.
little...
There's that one line that always sneaks up in every movie where
Yeah.
you're like, damn.
You're like, oh, there you
Nice.
go. Yeah.
I gotta go work out. But yeah, pretty much other than those 2 things, yeah, I liked it. It was a very, very solid movie. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, 8.
8.
Nice.
Okay. Damn.
I think I'll also give it an 8. I think we're all kind of aligned here, but I also saw Creed 1 and Creed 2 like day before, so seeing the whole trilogy was pretty awesome. And then I think I also rated like in the middle, like the second of the 3.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, better than 2,
than two.
but not better than 1.
Correct.
Yeah.
Although 2 is not that far off. I think they're very close.
2's good.
Um,
I just don't remember.
There's a lot in 2 that I like with Rocky and Drago, but this one had some cool, not twist, but like its own take on it, and like a fresh style, and some cool anime references, and just a great villain, if you say. I think Jonathan Majors really knocked it out of the park. So.
At Dodger Stadium.
He did it. All right. For some of the many reasons that were stated by Danny, Zach, and a bit of Anthony here, I think overall I liked the. I'm on the camp where like I'm okay with Rocky not being there because it lets Adonis stand on his own as a character. We get more of his fleshed out story. We see more of his family life and like maybe some sprinkles here and there of possibilities with his daughter going through her own things and using boxing as an outlet. Again, like Danny said, Jonathan Majors as Damian Anderson is just completely captivating on screen. The dude just is scene stealing but at the same time adding to everything going on. Like he's just an amazing actor.
Yeah, he was great.
I love but not just the physicality to it, but the emotion and the range, the subtleties that he brought to the character.
The mind games.
He was but I just couldn't help but at certain points I'm just still rooting for the man. That's how good it was, like he brought to it, and I think that's what he strives to do as an actor. Whenever he plays like these villainous roles, these roles as antagonists or villains, but I would call him more of a rival than a villain in this movie because of their shared history. But again, like all the inspirations that Michael B. Jordan has on this movie really add to it and don't subtract or take away or are too obnoxious or on the nose about it. Despite me wishing there was more of like a big grandiose like training montage, I just felt maybe the training montage, not to me, I didn't feel. To me, the training montage was more emotional than it was about this like these crazy physical feats of strength and feats of training. Like it was more of him getting back on the horse and trying to come to the realization that he's older now. But he still has to face his demons and face his past and all this. And the character arc that both these main characters go through are just really strong. That's why I would give this an 8.5.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to beat that montage from Creed 1. That's a pretty awesome montage.
That's hands down
That's
the best
like-
one.
Like Gonna Fly Now.
That's
That
his
whole
Gonna
series?
Fly Now moment.
Yeah, like that like is as good as like the Rocky 1, Rocky 2 montage moments.
Do you remember?
Rocky 2 is pretty awesome.
Do you remember? I don't know if it was Rocky 1 or 2, but there was a point where he's running and he's getting to.
2 is the one
building.
where like the whole like city is running with him.
Okay,
The kids.
so yeah,
With the kids and all that.
So the kids. Okay, 2's with this. Yeah, so this was 2. There was this one kid who's trying to catch him,
Uh-huh.
and Rocky's like, "Hell no, kid, you ain't
And he
catching me!"
takes off
And he just
and the
takes
kid's
off,
like,
and the kid's like, "Oh no, because I can't catch you. You're mean." That's the ultimate like F them kids moment that Rocky's ever had, and then he has a kid. But that was I would stand on my ground with this one as an 8.5. If I give Creed 1 like a 9, like the hard 9, then this one is like the soft 8.5.
Yeah, I like how this movie is also like more family oriented since now he's older and he has a family. I liked his relationship with his daughter and Tessa Thompson more.
Yep.
Whereas I felt like Tessa Thompson was always good in the other ones, but I felt like they were more like I don't know. I felt like they gelled more in this movie than they did in the others. But yeah, it was cool.
He was having a tea party.
Yeah,
That was great. Wake up, oh fine, and then straight up tea party, like any good dad would do. So good. Yeah, man. So it just now makes me want to rewatch the movie again. Just again on record, Jonathan Majors is the freaking truth. That dude's amazing.
So earlier when you said he came to play, I thought you said he
He
came to play.
He
He
came to play. No,
That's the title of the episode. He came to play.
he came to play.
Oh
I hate
boy.
it. Good job, Anthony. All right.
You had to.
Thanks, guys. So, hopefully, this little break in our, weekly watch cadence came through and is entertaining for you all because this movie is just truly that special. Like, it was really good. We just had to take the time to go out and talk about it and share our thoughts. Hopefully, you have your own thoughts. If you have other things that you wanted to bring up, other little tidbits, factoids, or other pieces, other animes that maybe when watching this movie you thought of, reach out to us. Talk to us, share your thoughts over through our social media pages on Twitter and Instagram, Popcorn Watchlist, and we'd love to share that with the rest of the viewers and listeners and kind of get that community going, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and for sure you're gonna catch us next time talking about Hot Fuzz and see what Danny thinks about doing things for the greater good.
The greater good.
Get ready.
Thanks again for everybody for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.
See ya.
Later.
Later.